Recording YouTube videos in a foreign language is exhausting. Honestly, I don't even know what I was thinking when I decided to start this channel. In those early days, my English was intermediate or upper intermediate, but I definitely didn't feel as comfortable with it as with Russian, my native language, or even with French. At the time, I had just moved to the United States. My life was already stressful, and yet I thought, why not start a YouTube channel in English? I was in a stage of my life where I was willing to push myself, push my limits, maybe overwork if needed, just so I could achieve more. And the logic was really simple. English would allow me to reach a wider audience, and since I just moved to the United States, it also made sense to target an English-speaking audience. What I didn't realize back then was how hard it would be to sit in front of a camera and actually speak, and that it is actually a skill of its own. I struggled to record videos in Russian at the very beginning. So that was my point A. I felt super awkward in front of a camera. I did not know what to do with my hands, with my face, and how to speak without sounding weird. Adding a foreign language on top of that was interesting. I think even doing this in French would have been slightly more natural than in English because I had years of intense training in linguistic school. I even had a lot of public speaking practice, but nothing like that for English, beside regular grammar classes and reading books in English. I'm not gonna be modest, and I'll just say that I applaud my own audacity and courage for doing something so out of my comfort zone. Anyway, I think I've come a very long way from not being able to record videos even in my native language at all and posting videos in English on this channel. There is a proverb in the Russian language that I've always found inspiring. The eyes are afraid, but the hands are doing. It basically means that the fear may always be here, and especially for things that are new to you. That is my addition. But you can still push through it and do what you gotta do. I couldn't really find a direct translation, but the closest phrases that I found were feel fear and do it anyways. I'm not sure if it's like a catchphrase or anything, or action cures fear. I kept using the same phrase to keep my spirits high when I started this channel, and I had a vision. I really wanted to develop this skill, this right here, but was really scared. I'm not saying that all my struggles are gone and that it is super natural and easy for me to record videos in English. No, part of that struggle is my ability to speak English. My pronunciation is definitely better now than 5 years ago, but also it is not perfect, and sometimes I mess up with sounds, I sound weird. I also chop the speech so it's not really smooth and flowy. I accentuate words in a weird way, like I often start with higher intonation and I go down while I should start lower and like go higher up and accentuate the words that are the most important words. And also grammar and vocabulary. I read quite a lot, and I'm also quite curious about grammar, so I like learning rules. But also, combining all of that together in a spontaneous speech is just something different. It's a skill of its own. Also, generally, pulling ideas together while being spontaneous in a video, it is also not quite easy for me. It is only this year that I started scripting my videos. So most of my videos, and those that became quite popular and got a lot of views, were almost not scripted at all. It was just me talking like this. The reason why I started scripting my videos is because I want to learn from my mistakes, and I think doing so, scripting my videos, is probably the easiest and more natural way because it just helps me to reflect on what I'm gonna say, which is always good. And also, I have the opportunity to practice in advance. Like I can practice saying some words that are difficult for me pronunciation wise. I can also look up some vocabulary. I have a very wide passive vocabulary because as I said, I read a lot, but I do not use all of that vocabulary in writing or while speaking. And that's kind of my goal, to bring more of my passive vocabulary into my active vocabulary. I'll let you know how it goes, if the scripting works at all, but hopefully it does. Editing remains the hardest part for me in terms of all my mistakes, because this is when I actually get to face them. And this is when I hear all my grammar slips that I wouldn't do in writing. I can hear me like using the same vocabulary over and over again, and it annoys me because it's repetitive. I conjugate some verbs incorrectly, even in the simplest tenses. I do not use all the tenses, even when I should. And also, of course, I can hear all the filler words that I'm using, like, like. I cut a lot of these things out, but not everything, because I wouldn't finish editing. These are not, things I would judge anyone else for. These are not a big deal, but also they just annoy me a lot. But yeah, the positive side is that recording in English forces me to hear myself, to observe, and that is super powerful. I wouldn't have recognized all of the things that I just mentioned as my area for improvement without it. And you cannot fix something that you do not hear or know. So that is always step number one. I definitely haven't fixed everything, and I haven't even started on working all of those things, but I'm getting there. For example, I started a course for accent reduction, so pronunciation is something that I've been working on lately, and I have a separate video about that if you want to see the process and how it's going. Overall, the progress that I've made over the last 5 years is huge. I can miss sounds here and there, misuse vocabulary, but overall, I'm really proud. Watching myself on videos also made me aware of how limited my vocabulary is. I'm used to thinking about myself internally, at least, that my English is advanced, but is it really? I read quite a lot. I listen to audiobooks, podcasts. I use English in my everyday life because I live in the US, so I use it at work, when I go out with friends, when I go to a dance class, grocery shopping, everything. But the thing is, when I need to speak spontaneously, I use kind of the same simple words over and over again. Also, not everything that I say is natural. I avoid using some phrasal verbs that are used quite a lot, and I don't know, just very simple vocabulary. It's not necessarily bad. That's not something that I would judge anyone else for, again, but also, I want to be expressing myself as clear as possible, and for that, I think having a stronger vocabulary is a must. Same for grammar. Just saying advanced grammar in TV series or books is no longer enough for me. I want to be using that. I want to have all of that in my linguistic toolbox. One of the most challenging things for me is actually showing my personality when I speak English. Native creators can be fully themselves in their videos, and it is not the same for me. Showing my personality for me involves joking, using slang, maybe playing with words. That is something that I do in Russian quite often, but I do feel limited in English. I feel like I'm picking expressions and words from what I know, but I feel that they're not necessarily representing 100% what I want to say. To be honest, I felt behind quite a few times because of that, because I'm recording in my third language, and it's like there's a missed opportunity situation going on. How am I gonna be interesting to other people and attract them if I'm not even able to show myself fully and be myself fully? With time, I've come to realize that it is not necessarily a disadvantage. Well, first of all, this is a learning opportunity for me to be myself in a foreign language, which involves basically just learning more, studying English more. But also, there is this thing when I see someone speak Russian and share their foreign perspective, I'm interested. I applaud those people because they learned my native language as their foreign language, and it's just super curious to see and hear those people. Somehow I did not extend the same kindness to myself for this. So this kind of helped me to shift my mindset and think of me speaking in English and recording videos in English more of maybe a point that could attract audience, the right audience, my audience. When I first started this channel, I was really scared of criticism. What if native speakers find my accent funny? What if I say something weird? What if I annoy them? I think so far I've been really lucky with my audience, and I haven't received a lot of hate or criticism even. Sometimes there are some passive aggressive comments. Some people think if I'm trained in French phonetics and pronunciation, then I should also speak perfect English, which does not make sense because these are two different languages. But that is a whole different topic. Anyway, that fear was always there until recently, I think. What really changed for me is therapy. And something that I'm learning in therapy is getting rid of people-pleasing traits that I have. So what I've really taught myself to think is that there is no way that I'm just going to be liked by everyone. It is inevitable that someone will find my accent funny or annoying, and I'm just gonna let them. That's it. There's nothing literally I can do about it. This is obvious, yet sometimes some things are obvious. You know them, but it still does not help, and then the moment comes and it hits you. That was my moment. It hit me that I really do not care. And also, hateful comments are still comments. It's still engagement. And technically, it's actually good for my channel. I'm not trying to encourage you to leave me hate under my videos. Please do not. Let's stay kind if possible. But yeah, this is just my thinking process. I don't have to be liked by every single person. It's fine. What I really want is to do what I find joyful and fulfilling, and to find my people here somewhere on the internet who are gonna connect with my content, with my channel, and stick around. I'll admit something though. I still feel quite protective of this channel, and I do not really talk about it in my real life. Not even all my friends know about it. A few coworkers found out about my channel, and to be honest, I felt a little bit awkward. I never openly talked about my YouTube channel, I think mostly because this is my ground for growing by doing something out of my comfort zone, by struggling and just pushing through the struggles, and that's not necessarily something that I want to show to everyone. I've always felt a little bit protective of this channel because of that, but also it's not like I want to show my channel at my friends' face and make them subscribe and just make them watch it. I don't really care if people don't want to watch me, because I do want the right people to find this channel again. My goal was always optimize my videos just so people who are looking for content like mine would discover the videos and possibly stick around. Sometimes I'm scared that I won't be able to connect to my audience because you guys are native speakers and I'm not. According to the statistics of my channel, at least half of the people watching this video right now are located in an English-speaking country. It does not guarantee that you guys are native speakers, but then maybe it's even worse. Like, if I'm not a native speaker of English and you are not, does it make a gap between us wider? It's not necessarily something that I believe, it's just something that I'm wondering. I have questions about it. I've never seen a language as a barrier, On the contrary, for me, it's like a bridge. I've had luck to meet people from different countries with different backgrounds, speaking different native languages, and truly connect with them. Sometimes I can be so close to someone from a completely different cultural background. It feels so strange and beautiful and insane at the same time that I can be so far away from some people speaking my native language as their native language. So I guess I don't really care. I don't really care what language is your native language as far as you can understand me, understand English, and what I am trying to get across, I guess we're good. At the end of the day, I feel proud. Sometimes I do not record a video because it just feels too much of a hustle language-wise. Sometimes I record and then I'm not content with it because of something like pronunciation, grammar, vocabulary, or I think I'm not making sense in that video. You know, the list can really go on. But maybe there is a saying or something or a catchphrase about how you cannot really grow without being challenged. But yeah, that's it. It's challenging, but every time I record a video and post it on YouTube, I prove myself that I can do it. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel for more language related content, but not only, also books and travel and life. If you liked this video, like it, and I will catch you in my next one.